All right, so welcome back to I'll name the segment later. GTG spits that grease, so on and so forth. Title forever in the works. If you have a particular title in mind, by all means, leave it down in the comment section, and it might actually it may make it into one of these videos in the future. So big ups. All right, so if the title hasn't given me away yet, we're gonna talk about DSP and him going back and forth on wanting to buy this leverless arcade stick, Street Fighter Championship Edition. I'll pull that up in a minute. But he's got this obsession with wanting to spend about $300 on it. I believe the arcade stick actually drops on April 8th, because I think you have to pre-order it. His birthday's on the 6th, as you guys know, so that'd be like a late birthday gift to himself and whatnot. But if you're going to celebrate, this is someone who's literally spent a month plus hyping people up for his birthday, and then on his 40th he spent that whole week celebrating his birthday. If that's not pathetic, I don't know what is. Anyhow, and actually, interestingly enough, let me bring that up. So yeah, so he's about to turn 44 this year, I believe. But yeah, for his 40th, he spent the entire week basically celebrating his birthday, missing the point, or trying to overcompensate with the fact that it's supposed to be your friends, your family, the people who love you, care for you, and value you, who are supposed to be celebrating you hitting, you know, your 40s, your 50s, your 60s, and so on and so forth. And he doesn't have any family to speak of, really, to do that. And I'm not sure if any of you guys picked that up back then. I didn't either. But seeing it now in hindsight, that's what it is. He's overcompensating for the fact that he has nobody around him. There is nobody to celebrate his 50th birthday with. Well, 45, well, his 44th, really, but his 45th, his 50th, his 55 or 55th, if he even makes it there. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's kind of a really sad way of thinking about it. Don't feel bad for him. But it is sad and pathetic. Anywho, let's go back to DSP trying to make himself feel better. Feel better. So he wants to go with this leverless arcade stick. A popular thing over the last few years. Initially, it was designed and made for Smash players. Hex, in particular, because he was having problems with his wrists, and then it ended up expounding upon and ended up getting where it's getting. And DSP's jumping onto the craze because, well, for one, his reactions and reflexes are bad. Two, he can't do motions really anymore, not consistently. If you guys have been following his campaigns in Street Fighter, you're starting to see it, as well as his button presses are not, his reactions aren't there for those either, more often than not. So he's gonna go with the leverless shit. One, because he thinks he can try to keep up with the Joneses, because I don't know if Max has played on one. I'm pretty sure he has. I don't know, I'm pretty sure he owns one. I'm sure someone sponsored him. Justin certainly has. Pretty much anybody who's in the who's who has at least used one. You know what I'm saying? Taquito plays on one exclusively. Daigo's playing on a few of them. Mochi has, so on and so forth. You know what I mean? So he's kind of doing this to keep up with the Joneses. I also speculate that DSP is starting to get really pissed off at the idea that people like myself and others call him out on his lack of motions and button pressing, meaning that depending on how far DSP gets pushed, we may very well see a hand or hoof cam from him. Because in his head, this is me just speculating, of course, in his head, he could be like, well, if I go to the leverless thing, the leverless stick, and everything is button presses, right? That's my excuse. If so, when they say that, oh, look at how his buttons are matching up and all this, that, and third, he can just blame it all on the buttons. And I think that's going to be his way out. I think that's his way of trying to dispel the whole hand cam situation when it comes to the arcade stick. I also think, though, that he thinks he's getting in on the ground floor of this becoming mainstream, because it started off initially as something customizable. Now you're starting to see big companies get into doing it themselves. I think he thinks he's going to be ahead of that trend, and it's another way for him to get back into the FGC. And with that being said, let me reiterate this, that DSP's whole purpose in playing fighting games is to try to be recognized by the FGC. That's what this whole thing has been for all these years. That's what he will continue to do. You know what I mean? That's the reason why he jumped from Xbox, PlayStation to PC with Street Fighter 6. That's why he's bought 3 different arcade sticks, soon to be 4. That's the reason why he plays with dents offline and shit to try to, you know what I'm saying, using them as combo dummies basically because he doesn't know how to lab properly. All of this is to be recognized by the FGC because it's really his only way in. He doesn't have the luxury of like someone like a low tier god who he can, as soon as he gets unbanned from Capcom Cup and Evo, respectfully, and one day he will, he could just hop back into the mix. It'll take a while to get his name back up amongst the scene at large, but his name will still carry. DSP doesn't even have that, which is one of the reasons why DSP obsesses about LTG the way he does. Speaking of which, let me speak on that for a minute. It was yesterday, I think. I'm recording this on the 11th. Sorry, Ethan Ralph got arrested yesterday, I think it was, and everybody's talking about it on Twitter today and shit. Fucking wild stuff, bro. Wild stuff. How that dude can't keep himself out of trouble. Anyway, in Milwaukee, no less. I didn't even know he was in the United States. So if he doesn't flee back to Mexico, I assume he's going back to Memphis. We'll see. We'll see, because I feel like he has like an active warrant there too. Now I think about it. Don't quote me on that. Don't quote me on that. Now I think about it. I wonder if he has to have an active warrant in the United States. That's why he fled in the first place, as well as taxes. Anyway, semantics. As it pertains to yeah, that's fucking crazy now I think about it with that Ethan Ralph shit. Holy fuck. Anyway, sorry, I've lost my train of thought. Oh, the whole thing about him, DSP calling people monkeys and apes. He's slowly but surely building up to going back to the way he was. Let me give you an example. So remember back during the Asmongold interview where DSP brought up the whole thing about, oh, I used to say slurs and this, that, and the third, and you know, people don't like it and I've changed this, that, and the third. And Asmongold's like, oh yeah, that's just funny. You should keep doing that. And he's like, well, I can't, you know, because people don't like me. Oh yeah, and Asmon was like, oh yeah, there's gonna always be that demographic who's gonna say, you know, it's bad and they're gonna be wokies or sensitive or whatever. You should still keep doing that. And DSP kind of gave his slight chuckle and that was it. That's what you're seeing.
So why don't you stream on Twitch?
It's a good question.
I mean, wouldn't you just make more money? Like, I mean, you're streaming on Kick, you're streaming on YouTube. Like, I mean, at least on Twitch, like, because here's the way I see it, right? Is that if you're streaming on Twitch, you can at least make some money from ads. But, like, if you're streaming on YouTube, how the fuck do you make any money? Because, like, you're going to get, like, fucking super chats, maybe, or, like, a subscription. But that's about it, right?
No. I mean, I get ad revenue on every stream that I do on YouTube.
Yeah, but it's not like
if it were a video playing.
Yeah, it's not like Twitch though. Twitch pays way more.
Twitch pays way more for ads.
They still do. They still do. If you're not like me, like for me, I like talking about politics, and so I get paid about 3 cents a day. But if you don't do that, you get thousands of dollars. I mean, if you get enough viewers. Yeah.
Well, I did stream on Twitch for a while.
Why'd you stop?
And well, I stopped in 2021 because my detractors in 2021 actually put together this package of stuff that was like clips of me from over a decade before. So when I started, you know, I've been streaming since 2008. Okay, well, not streaming, excuse me. I've been a YouTuber since 2008, and back then it was the Wild West, and everyone said and did whatever they wanted to try to get like shock value out of the audience. You know, back then my audience was all teenagers, so I'm doing like over-the-top sexualized dialogue about women's tits in the video game all the time, and I'm doing racial commentary, like racial jokes and stuff like that.
Yeah, I did that a couple days ago.
Well, there you go. See, I did it 15 years ago, and people found it back then funny. Today, they find it offensive.
No, they don't.
And so, well, you're right. But at the same time,
you got to bring those back.
Culture aspect.
Yeah, no, there are annoying Karens on the internet that are like that. You're right. No, it's true. And in 2008, they were not on the internet, and now they are.
That's right.
Yes. So
in 2021, my detractors put together this package of like clips from 2010. You know, there was this one time I did a little demo playthrough of a game called Dead Space 2. You probably have heard of it.
Yes.
And I made Nazi jokes. Terrible, right? But I made Nazi jokes. So they take that, and then they take a comment about me saying something, something racial about Asians or something. And it's all like 15 years old. And they sent it to everyone. They sent it to Teespring, I had a partnership with. They sent it to the Twitch partner program team. They sent it to everyone. And in 2021 context, all these teams looked at this and said, oh, this guy's a horrible racist bigot. And like overnight in like 2021, I got kicked out of everything. I got kicked out of the Twitch partner program. I got kicked off Teespring. I got kicked off of every one of these pop-up services. You know how you get pop-ups on your stream for contributions? They all canceled me. They all said, oh, you're offensive. You're canceled. And I'm like, for what? Like, what did I do? And they'd be like, oh, well, you said hateful things. What did I say? Because I haven't done this kind of content since like 2010. Yeah. So what the hell are you talking about? And Twitch specifically, their lawyers wrote me back and said, oh, we actually don't have any legal obligation to say what you did wrong. And we're actually not going to tell you what you did wrong at all. If you want to reapply for the partner program, come back in a year, but too bad. Okay. And I was like, how could I ever improve my content, make sure that I'm in line with your platform's terms of service if you don't tell me what I actually did wrong? And their attitude was, we don't care. Too bad. And I was like, all right, well, I'll see if I can still make some money streaming on Twitch even without the partner program. So for about another month, I was streaming on Twitch, and I was just trying to take in like tips and contributions and stuff like that. One day I'm streaming the game Returnal. You remember that game?
Yes.
And you remember how high action that game was. Like there's shit.
It was very, it was a lot of shit going on. Yeah.
Very frenetic. So in the middle of me playing it, I'm reading something off the screen and I get attacked from the side and I'm like, oh shit, blah, blah, blah. And I like got tongue tied.
Did you accidentally say the N-word?
No, it sounded almost like I did, but I definitely didn't say it because I was reading the screen. You could see what I was actually trying to say when I got interrupted. Yeah. And they suspended me. And I'm like, how could you suspend me? I didn't do anything. Oh, well, you said the N-word. I was like, no, I didn't. Watch it back. Within an hour, they unsuspended me. Yeah. And I'm like, I don't want to stream on a platform where, number one, at any moment, you're going to accuse me of being like a hateful bigot. Yeah. But then you won't justify what you're saying. You won't even send me evidence of me doing anything wrong, violating your terms. And you take away my ability to monetize my streams. That's number one. And then on top of that, even if I try to survive and make a living otherwise, like, okay, I'll just take tips or whatever, then you're going to suspend me on a whim for something I literally didn't do because my trolls flagged the stream. And at that point, I said, I don't want to be here anymore. And I stepped away, and ever since I've been a full-time YouTube streamer, and for the last year, I've also co-streamed on Kick, and that's how I make my living. So I don't want to be on Twitch. I don't want to be on a place that's unprofessional, and at a moment's notice, they're going to cancel me when I didn't do anything wrong.
I'm going to be honest. So, like, do you think that you were a victim of cancel culture?
I was a victim of a group of people on the internet who really don't like me taking advantage of cancel culture. Well, that's what it was, because Twitch didn't give a shit.
I think Twitch that's kind of based. It is. I mean, now, I mean, things have changed a lot since then. 2021 was a different universe, as I'm sure that you know. But so you're talking about, I know that some of my viewers might not be familiar with this. You're talking about this term detractors. Can you explain?
And the reason why you're seeing that is because recently Asmongold had commented on Burt Peanut. DSP did too, now that I think about it. Anyway, Asmongold had commented on Burt Peanut, and he had basically said, you know, without mixing words, that it was nice to see people back on playing video games, saying slurs, saying offensive shit, and whatever, because that's how Xbox Live and PSN was back in the day before all the bullshit.
You gotta really feel bad for these people. What a fucking freak, bro. What a weird ass little freak. No, we're bringing it back. The reason why I like Peanut, one of the reasons why I like him, is he represents the old gaming. This is the way, like, I'm sorry, but like, if you play FPS games, like, that is your guy. That is your guy. Like, racist jokes, slurs, all kinds of, like, fucking politically incorrect comments. Like, that's what it's about. Like, that's what it's always been about. Like, this is a cultural victory that we are bringing it back. I think that we are only, and I'm hopefully speaking this into existence. I want to be able to say slurs again. I do. I want to be able to. Like, whenever I play an online FPS game and I can't use those words, I feel like a pit bull that's like, you know, like one of those pit bulls like out in the backyard. It's like chained to a pole. I can't go out there and maul the fucking infants, right? I can't go out there and bite the babies. Like, I'm fucking mad, bro. I want to go out there. I want to say it. I want to let them know. Sore Sunday? Yeah, but the real ones. That's it. You done with midnight? Not yet. Not yet. Yeah, it's like you got a muzzle on. Exactly. I'm pissed, bro. I hate that.
I see where he's coming from with that. So he looks at burnt peanut as a breath of fresh air. Actually, there's a lot of guys who think that way. So there you go on that. You're just seeing DSP starting to build his confidence up to emulate that. He's already very comfortable with saying retard. So now it's just a matter of building himself up to get back to saying offensive shit. Honestly, like I told y'all a few months ago or last year, he needs to just come out and call LTG the N-word and be done with it. Just get it over with. To be honest with you, no one cares. Everybody knows you're a racist. Even the detractors that are around here who like to tiptoe around this shit and say that he's not racist, I mean, that's on them, because when DSP finally does slip, and he will, they're gonna have to sit there and sit there and explain it. You see what I'm saying? Like, they kind of box themselves in when you think about that. DSP has a well-known and well-established history of racism, overtly and covertly, right? I don't know who it was who made, I want to say someone made a compilation of DSP saying racist shit without saying it directly. Like, say he was more covert than overt because he's a coward. If that isn't enough to tell you that DSP never stopped being racist, he just changed his language up to do it. It's not clever nor cunning, to be honest. So no one should be surprised by any of that. Point being is once DSP finally slips and whatnot, then I'll let those guys basically try to defend themselves on that shit, because they're going to have to, because people are going to remember it. But yeah, DSP is just slowly but surely trying to rev himself up. That's what it is. You know what I mean? He's not directing it. He's not gonna direct it at LTG directly yet, but he will eventually. And then he'll direct it towards everybody else. And then sooner than later, LTG is gonna do something, or LTG is gonna ignore him for the 200th time, and then DSP is just gonna let it all rock. Because if you're DSP, what do you care about offensive language at this point? You're never going to get he's never going to get sponsored or any bullshit like that. He's completely and utterly dependent on streaming anyway to make money. Once the stream is over, he's going to have whatever fucking dancing monkey behind the scenes go ahead and cut the shit all up for him anyway to make it disappear. And the only thing will be left is the raw fill version and anybody who restreamed it. And he'll go ahead and hand wave that shit. And even if he don't hand wave it, it'll be like, so what? No one's gonna be able to do nothing to him. He don't care. And he's slowly but surely showing that he don't care. You know what I'm saying? And to be honest, this may be his only way, or one of his only ways, of getting back over there and getting the attention of Asmongold back. So that's where the whole monkey ape bullshit comes from, to be honest. Like, he's not gonna, it'd be funny to see him come out and call fucking low tier god peanut butter Harambe, but I don't think he's going to do that anytime soon. I don't think he's that clever or witty. But the racism has never stopped. It'll just keep going. Anyway, so I just want to comment on that. Back to this arcade stick nonsense. Yet again, it's just him trying to keep up with the Joneses. It's him trying to solidify his space. He's 44 years old. Most of the guys who are his age that are in the FGC are either at GOAT status or of elite GOAT status, if you will, OG GOAT status. DSP is nowhere even near the conversation. He's an afterthought at best. He was literally the class retard. You know what I'm saying? He was the Make-A-Wish Foundation of his generation. And he kept fucking up, and they kept tolerating him, and I will say this because I've been saying this. I wish that Mike Watson and Jaha had finished the job on his ass all them years ago. But, you know, it is what it is. And this is all it is. This is all it's ever going to be, to be honest. And then on top of it, DSP has the nostalgia of, oh, it's Street Fighter Championship Edition. I grew up with it, whatever. And then the whole thing about the LED lights, or the RBG lights, or RGB lights, or whatever. So that's a selling point. Matter of fact, give me a second and I'll just pull it up for y'all, and you can see the tism in in full effect. Oh my god. All right, let's switch over to this. Okay. All right, so we're back. Okay, let's see here. Let me see if I can bring this up. All right, here we go. Okay, first, for those of you who have been on this ride before, you know how this works. For those of you who don't know, I got a bunch of tabs. I realize I have a bunch of tabs. Don't judge me. Don't judge me. Okay, so we're on the official Turtle Beach website, and this is the TISM in question. This is it here. This is what DSP is lusting over and whatnot, trying to relive childhood memories that don't really exist, and most of it he spent by himself. Truth be told, one could make the argument that he's trying to relive the arcade days when T and all of them were still around before T got murdered, and so on and so forth. By DSP, by the way, because since, you know, he wants to make it about himself. But here's the arcade stick in question. Here's the layout. DSP has already, from what I've heard, he already doesn't understand fully the button layout, but he's stupid, so I get it. Most arcade sticks come with your traditional 8 buttons. In Street Fighter 6, most people use the last 2 buttons. Or, if you're a fucking nut like me, I use the last 6 the last 6 buttons. Sometimes I don't use the first 6 like most people do traditionally. Sometimes I just use the last 6. Don't ask me why. But anyway, but there are people who use the extra buttons, for one dedicated for parry and the other one for drive rush. So that's a thing too. Anyway, here's the directional buttons in particular. We will see how DSP makes that shit work. To be honest with you, it's not difficult. I've played on one of these a few times, so it's not really hard. It's different, but it's not anything crazy. And given that he's bad at motions anyway, it's no big deal. He's gonna complain about delay and all kinds of other bullshit no matter what. It is what it is. Let's see here. Swappable RGBs. You can customize all the colors for your buttons, as you can see here. Let's see. Lightweight. So, I mean, it works out. He doesn't have any excuses. He could literally lay this on the desk and then put the camera right on top of it and play this. This is not, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's literally no reason why he can't do that. And I think sooner than later, he might be pressured into doing it. Let's see here. Here's the customization stuff. Super easy, but then again, we've seen DSP try to change a arcade stick before and completely botch the shit because he's stupid and whatnot. So there you go on that. It's pretty easy. It's pretty straightforward. I want to point out another thing too. Because you can customize the color of your RGBs, right? He can literally customize each one of these RGBs not only to his button press, meaning that it reacts as he presses the button, but he can also map the colors out. Like, let's say, you know, red for the lights, green for the mediums, and blue for the heavies. If he does that, and then he adds the camera on top of it, right? If he tries to say that it didn't register his button press or whatever, but this light right here flashes, it proves that he's lying. So I'm really, really wanting DSP to do this, just so he can expose what kind of fucking fraud he is. But we'll see. We will see. Let's see here. Like I said, it's going to be $2.99. DSP's not going to have a problem with that bullshit. I honestly think he's trying to convince people. Matter of fact, he can play this on... What the fuck is he talking about? Yesterday, he said that this is for PS4 and PS5, which it is. But he can play this on PC. So his whole, you know, late, what do they call it? Input delay and all that bullshit that he likes to gush about. This right here is... This is compatible for PC. And then he can buy an adapter so he can play it on Xbox if he ever decides to go back to that. So I don't even know why he's bitching about that. But I'm going to do that video, so don't even worry about it. And I was wrong. It actually ships out on the 9th. I thought he said the 8th, but it ships out on the 9th. So it's a late birthday present to himself. Anyway, $2.99. I honestly think he's going to try to convince someone to buy it for him. But to be honest, he's buying this. Because he's a lifetime consumer, because he's a fucking mark, you know what I'm saying? He's going to buy this no matter what. He will purchase this. There's no reason for him not to do it and gush about it and do an unboxing video to show that he's really FGC and everybody else is posers. He's going to do that. But I think he's going to try to convince someone to buy it first before that happens. I honestly think that's what the case is. And then, funny enough, people were asking, he was saying that he doesn't know if people are going to be willing to watch him learn how to use this on stream. someone with some common sense, more than likely a troll, said, hey, why don't you just practice offline? I don't do games offline anymore, dude. I do everything online. I do everything. He does everything for profit. So he wants to pay for someone to get this for him. Then he wants to have them pay him to unbox it and show it and basically show them what it is. And then he wants to have them continue to pay him to learn how to use it and to play it later on down the line. Now, in the reverse of that, if he pays to buy it, if he actually does buy it, he's going to want to be reimbursed for it. He's going to want to be paid and handheld how to use it properly. And then he wants to be paid, and he wants his ego to be stroked to be able to use it online. Either way, the cost of this particular product is going to be pushed upon the dents either which way. No matter what. It does not, no matter what, he's going to get his money one way or another. If he invests in this on his own, they're going to end up recouping. He's going to bleed them to recoup it, which is a good thing, because that means he's going to keep playing Street Fighter until he gets what he feels is what he's owed. So keep that in mind. Honestly, DSP is wasting his time and money. Like, he's already shot. He's already shot. So there's no point in you doing this. You're just kind of embarrassing yourself at this particular point, which I'm okay with you doing. But a leverless arcade stick is not going to fix the problems that DSP has. It's just not going to happen. Okay, let's switch back. Okay, cool. It's not going to fix anything. All of the active problems and issues that Darkside Phil has as it pertains to Street Fighter 6 and or fighting games as a whole still exist and still will continue to exist. It's not going anywhere. So him purchasing this is nothing more than vanity. It's him trying to relive a memory that he probably misremembered, and I can say that because I misremember quite a bit, but it's probably a memory that he's either misremembering or he's going to try to forge a whole new memory using this as his fucking medium. You know what I'm saying? That's all it is. It's to try to relive something that he hasn't experienced in over 2 decades. Get over it. You know what I mean? And as sad and as pathetic as that is, that's all it is, ladies and gentlemen. I promise you. That's all it is. And nothing more. As like I said, as sad and as pathetic as that is, that's all this is. So nothing is going to come out of this. He's not going to get any better. He'll perform baseline at best. But once he gets into one of those high stress situations, he's done. Matter of fact, he's made it easier, because I saw that Piece of Peace actually streamed the other day. Big ups to him. All he's doing is opening the doors for, as if it wasn't already easy enough for Piece of Peace or Raw Phil, you know what I'm saying, or anybody else for that matter, Goji Tanks, take your pick. He's making it even easier. He's making it even easier, because it'll take DSP so much time just to break muscle memory from being on an arcade stick for so long, and then moving over to this and then reestablishing. He's gonna get ass blasted for the next like 6 months, to be honest. Now, truth be told, if he does purchase this product, which like I said, more than likely he will, he's already watching videos. He's already watching how, I guarantee you right now, he's already watching how-to videos on how to use this thing. I guarantee you. DSP is a scumbag con artist, scammer to the max, and which leads to him bleeding people. He's already trying to learn how to use it. I wouldn't be surprised if this piece of shit, excuse me, is online on Amazon, because he's a whore. So of course, all he's gonna do is spend his money on Amazon. He's gonna more than likely buy, because you can get one of these things for like 25, 50 bucks. You know what I'm saying? Like an entry level, kitty, training wheels, kitty wheels type shit. And he's more than likely just gonna purchase one of those. Won't tell nobody anything, and he'll practice on that till the real thing shows up. Remember, DSP does everything that DSP does, if it's not self-gratifying, is to prove to the detractors, trolls, haters, and critics that he's not the loser that we make him out to be. Not that we have to make him out to be that. If anything, especially in the current day, I think you have a much larger demographic of detractors that are willing to defend him on certain things. Let me be very clear about that. I don't want to paint anybody in the wrong type of way. But you have a demographic of he has a much larger demographic of detractors that are willing to give him the benefit of the doubt, if not outright defend him on certain things now than he ever has. you're not proving anything to anybody at the end of the day. You're never going to convince a detractor that you're a good person, you put out good content, that you were ever good at anything. It just isn't true. It's very clear it isn't true. Just like his relationship with him and T. Carter, for example. It wasn't what DSP describes, to be honest. It's not. I know, I don't know that for sure. Obviously, I'm going off of intuition, but I'm pretty confident it's not the way he says it is. They weren't that close. Not the way he says they were. Because if he were, he would have taken the 15 to 20 minutes to drive that kid home. If that's really your man, you know what I'm saying, and you really got love for him and all this, you would have driven him home. He wasn't a person to him. He was something to be used. He was someone to be used in the story. And you can defend that all you want if you're wanting to defend that. But that's what the realistic what that is. The FGC is just that too. When he fucking got ousted out that bitch, and he came to fucking YouTube, one of his driving forces of being on YouTube was trying to show up the FGC and be like, hey, there are people who will listen to me. There are people out here who think the way I think. And there are people who will give me the chance that you guys won't. And they didn't care. And he spent all those years being pissed off about it. That's why even after he got ousted and he was establishing himself in air quotes on YouTube, he was still posting on one of the many fucking sock accounts he had on SRK and Capcom United and Event Hubs. That's why he was still posting links to his videos. He wanted their attention. He wanted their approval. And he's never stopped wanting that. And he never will. So anyway, that's my opinion on all this nonsense. It's kind of funny. I may insert a couple of clips from this whole situation, but I might not. I'm going to do the video. So I'm going to go over it, to be honest with you, because just seeing how giddy he was looking at all of the other different arcade sticks or whatever, it probably gives him nostalgia of when he was back at home with his mother looking at the Home Shopping Network and him developing his addiction to shopping. It was an interesting look. I'll give you that. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that's all my thoughts on that. Let me know what you think, if you think anything about this, and let me know if anything. And big ups to everybody who came out to the last stream, or to any of my streams really, but to the last stream, I appreciate it. Also, to the person after the fact, are we ever going to go back to GTG Live? Yeah, we will. I'm trying to get into the habit of streaming. And I want to try to do it at least once a week. And once I have that locked down as it pertains to that in my recording schedule, and then life as a whole, to be honest with you, then we'll get back to it. And then I'm trying to think on how I want to split up the content, to be honest with you, because I do want to keep, I want to do the DSP and the lolcow stuff here, but I'll probably do some other lolcow stuff over on the second channel, and then maybe we'll get deeper into the boxing and some of my other interests as well. We'll see. It'll be a fun mix, but I'm just trying to develop the habit, because if not, I won't stick with it, or at least not in the long term, which is unfortunate. So I need to try to develop that. Anywho, and then I want to shape how I'm going to do all that. Anywho, enough of me talking. Thank you guys, and take care of yourselves. Like I said, this has been, I'll name the segment later, GTG Spits That Grease, brought to you by SnortBucks Coffee Company, the best beverage company, Hard Snorts Gin and Tonic, and Tim Snortons. It's a fantastic thing. Big ups to Chio. Big ups to Chio. Take care of yourselves, people. Later.